fat. You're eating carbohydrates. What are these carbohydrates made from? Plants. They're made from seeds. Seeds are highly what? They've got cyanide in them. They have toxins in them, right? They have pesticides in them, naturally occurring pesticides. And then guess what? You're consuming them. They're making you fat. He is going to assure you that eating these highly poisonous plants are not going to make you fat. How can he assure you that? Because everybody's getting fat.
This is definitely not a concern, right?
See, this is mental illness. This guy jumping on a box. This is mental illness. You understand me? Addiction.
It's because it's a poison.
It's because it's a poison. Get it? It's a poison. This is poison too, what he's doing here. Look at him.
It's literally a poison. They're pesticides. They exist for the purpose of killing insects.
For killing insects. It's a poison for killing insects. Listen to what he just told you. It's a poison for killing insects. Okay, so the pesticides that are found naturally occurring in plants, they're poisons for killing what? Insects. Get it? Now, how does it affect humans, though? He says it's for insects. Okay, but what happens when you consume it?
Okay, and they're then also potential carcinogens.
Oh, and they're potential carcinogens. But here's the thing. You know, in the past, you know how they fucked up these ranchers? These people would come around with sacks of apples, and they'd throw these apples over the fence, and the cows would eat the apples, and then they found the cows were dead. And they would be like, why are all our cows dead? Because they threw fruit like apples over the fence, knowing that if cows ate apples, they would die from the apples. Get it? But here's the question. What exactly from the apple killed the cows? Well, the seeds. See, because what happened was this. When they ate the apples, the seeds, they would grind them in their teeth because they grind their food. They have a propensity to grind food. So they'll grind anything because that's how they eat grass. They have to grind it in their teeth. They're ruminant animals. And so they would grind these apples and grind the seeds that were inside these fruits. When they grounded the seeds poisoned them with cyanide. And then these animals died. Get it?
Okay, see where we're going with this? They're unavoidable.
See where we're going with this? They're unavoidable, yes.
We literally cannot feed the population without pesticides. We cannot grow enough crops. There is no...
We cannot grow enough crops. It's impossible to feed the population. They don't have to eat crops, though. They shouldn't be eating crops. They should be eating their natural food, like we've been doing for centuries. And there's still people out there still eating just meat products. They don't eat these plants, which are poisonous. But your government wants to push it even more because they're like, you're just not fucking dying. So we need to bring out a new thing called veganism. If we could push veganism, we can completely destroy the human race. Of course, it's illegal to feed your kids, put your kids on a vegan diet. Because why? Because they want them to grow up because they're the workforce. So they want to at least have them eat some meat, but they want to propagandize it so that as an adult, you become a vegan. Because you'll deteriorate a lot quicker and die a lot faster. It's kind of obvious. You'll die a lot faster on a vegan diet because everybody's dying on vegan diets. That's why when they say they're about to die, I felt like I was going to die. What do? They revert to carnivore diet. The carnivore diet, they have to downplay your natural healthy diet because they don't need a healthy population. They don't need an older healthy population that's retired. They need a dead population because they don't want to support you, duh.
Way, even when we've tried to GMO our way around it, we can't. We just can't do it. Our population is way too big to feed the population without some type of
Exactly. That's why they're reducing it by poisoning you, getting rid of you. See what I mean? But he's lying. We have enough food to feed the population and some. We make enough. They grow enough of these stupid ass shitty crops to enough to poison you completely from here to high heaven. So he's lying. And they have plenty of meat products in the stores. If people were to stop eating plants and eating raw animal products right now, they would not starve. There would still be enough. There'd still be enough. And there's even processed meats. You have processed section and then you have natural. There's enough there. Because why? Because it's highly nutritious. So you wouldn't be consuming as much as you would plants, because plants are not based on nutrients. Human cells only want nutrients. It doesn't want plants. So when you consume plants, you're starving. Nitrogen balance is negative. So you have to keep consuming more and more and more because you're starving. And if you're starving, you're degenerating faster than you're regenerating. Get it?
Pesticides. So really the argument becomes, do we look at different types, organic ones, unorganic ones? We get into a lot of nuance trying to find ways to have harm mitigation, right? Because at the end of the day, yeah, we understand you're still putting a potentially very mild, but still a poison is getting into food supplies, getting into water supplies or something. Okay, yeah. So we're always looking for harm mitigation, but we cannot avoid it. Right? We need to be clear on that, which is kind of the problem when people obsess over it. It's like, you're not going to get, since I understand when people say, well, I don't want to consume a poison. Totally get it. And they're like, well, I want to minimize it. The problem is,
I totally get it. You don't want to consume a poison. But you are consuming poison. I get it. Get it? You're consuming it because it's internal as well.
it's very difficult for you to do that with it. And I'm not saying you can't.
It's not difficult to do that because Blaha has already, he's already admitted to it. Anti-nutrients. What are anti-nutrients? The toxins. The natural pesticides that are found in plants are anti-nutrient. Duh.
Again, I'm not saying you can't, but you're not going to be, it is an unavoidable poison. However, alcohol is a poison, right?
There you go. It's an unavoidable poison. Alcohol is a poison. Plants are what? Poison. Get it? They're poisonous to who? Humans. But it's on a small scale. It's on a low scale. But it can be extremely poisonous depending on what you're consuming, what seeds, what kind of seeds, how much you're consuming can be very toxic, very poisonous to the point where you die. Yeah.
Not hypothetical, not figurative, not metaphorically, biologically speaking. Biologically, scientifically, chemically speaking, by the definition of a poison, alcohol is a poison to humans. Okay. That's not.
And so are plants. They're poisonous to humans because they have naturally occurring pesticides. They're anti-nutrient. Get it?
Not hyperbole. It is literally, from a biological definition, a poison to our bodies. That is why our liver has to detoxify it so that it literally doesn't kill you. If your liver didn't process it, one drink would kill you. You would.
Your liver is not meant to detox you from, man, eating so much poison. Christ, why do you think you get a fatty liver? Because it's full of sugar. That's poison too. Sugar's poisonous to humans.
Be dead from one shot of vodka. So everybody understands this.
Salt is poisonous to humans as well. It's even poisonous to marine life. They don't drink salt water. Get it? Yeah. They get their moisture from eating other fish. They don't consume salt water. These saltwater mammals. Get it, dude? Or they would die. Because salt kills you.
Right? If your liver did not detoxify it, it would poison you to death. Okay. Same thing. It's the single most carcinogenic thing that we consume. Okay? People understand that. That's been pretty well proven in the data. One drink a month is enough to cause cancer in some people, directly cause it in some people.
Yeah, one drink is enough to cause cancer in people or whatever he's talking about. So are these plants. They're toxic, they're poisonous. They have pesticides inside them. They're enough to kill you, get it? Give you cancer.
It boosts 7 types of cancers. There's a study that found that.
Yeah.
Multiple studies determined that. One
So are
drink
the
a month.
plants.
And then it scales with intake, right? It is extremely carcinogenic.
Yeah.
So all the
So are plants. They're highly carcinogenic because they have their own pesticides. They're called tannins, lectins, they're called oxalates. They're highly toxic.
concerns that we have with the pesticides are present in alcohol, but here's the thing. Keeping in mind a very
The pesticides are highly found in alcohol because plants have their own naturally occurring fucking pesticides and they're found in alcohol. Sure.
small amount of alcohol will surpass what you can get from pesticides. And that's what people are missing who are worried about the pesticides. I'm not saying not to be worried, but if you're worried about pesticides, why would you drink an alcoholic drink that literally has a higher toxic load than any amount of pesticides you're possibly going to get on your, like, even if you said, hey, you know what, I'm going to go find the foods in the U.S. that have larger amounts of pesticides, I'm going to intentionally seek them out and eat those every day. Amounts of pesticides, I'm going to intentionally seek them out and eat those every day.
Yeah. Like almonds. Blaha drinks almond milk. Guess what? He's seeking out highly toxic plants and seeds. So these seeds are highly toxic. So the more if you consume them in high dosages, they're more toxic. More cyanide poisoning you get. Yeah. And then the more he looks degenerated. Get it?
Having one beer or one shot of whiskey a week or a glass of wine is going to have a considerably higher poisonous load, toxic load on your body and carcinogenic load than any of the pesticides they're legally putting in your food at this point. Does it mean they're harmless? No. But you are picking an optional poison. So if a person says, hey, I'm going to be worried about these that I can't fully avoid, and obsess and harp over them and want more laws written, but then you're drinking alcohol while you're going, oh, I don't want to consume a poison. You're literally drinking a poison. That is...
You're literally drinking a poison. No, really? You don't say.
Actually worse than the pesticides you're worried about. It's literally more poisonous.
No, it's not, because he just said the pesticides are found in the alcohol. He says it's worse than the pesticides you're eating. No, absolutely not. It's exactly the same. You're eating pesticides all day. You're poisoning yourself all day.
And you don't have to. You can't fully avoid the pesticides. You can avoid alcohol.
Look at this. You could avoid alcohol. You could avoid it, but your diets are based on addiction. Get it? And you are addicted to eating poison all day. You like it. You enjoy destroying yourself. Humans love seeing if they could die destroying themselves. Their body, they're addicted to it because the body is highly resistant from being destroyed. So you're like, you know what? Let me see if I can destroy it faster than the last time. So you're like, I'm going to eat these highly addictive, poisonous diets. And you want to keep poisoning your body. And then you look in the mirror and then you go, fuck, it hasn't completely deteriorated. It hasn't completely died yet. And you're like, I have to fucking destroy myself completely. You can be addicted to destructive things, like to destroy yourself. You are addicted to destroying yourself, body destruction. See, what we call this, we don't call this bodybuilding. We call this body destruction, what Blaha is doing here. What Blaha is doing is body destruction. The foods he eats and the exercises in the garage. That's considered body destruction. He's trying to see how far he could push it before his body self-destructs. Get it? Lots of people do this. Lots of people are like that. They're not based on regenerating their bodies. They're based on destroying their bodies and destroying themselves. Get it?
If you can't, then you're what we call an alcoholic. You need to go to a program.
Yeah. Yeah, you're what we call alcoholic. You need to go to a program. So people that are addicted, eating these highly addictive foods, what are they called exactly? What are they called? Omnivores. Hey, they wanna label themselves. They call them omnivores. What is Blaha addicted to? He's addicted to body destruction. Do they have a program for that? What's the program for people that want to destroy themselves? Working. They want to work themselves to death. Exercise themselves to death. What is that? Was there a program for that? No. Maybe they should open a program for that. I don't know. Maybe they have one already. I have no idea. You understand me? Yeah. But they call that a gym membership. Get it? They call it gym membership. Body destruction, gym membership. Yeah, man. You understand? For people, come on.
You're an alcoholic if you can't avoid it. So that's a whole nother topic. It's a completely optional poison you are choosing to put in your body. And yet people will have no trouble.
Thinking, what do you think he's creating here by lifting these weights? What is it causing his body? Stress. What does stress do? What kind of chemical reaction does it do to your body? It increases cortisol, right? So what does it do? It puts you in a catabolic state, right? Now, if you're eating what Blaha eats, the highly addictive slave food diet, what does that do to you? Well, how does that affect you? Well, that it increases what? Degeneration. Get it? So that increases it. So if this increases you degenerating your body, deteriorating your body, exercising, and now you're eating a diet that is highly degenerative, right? You've got a great combination. Get it? You're gonna keep degenerating. You're gonna keep deteriorating faster than you're regenerating. Get it, dude?
Doing it, and they'll say, well, I don't have that much of it. Okay, but it's way, 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 way more than what you could get from the pesticides. So you see what I mean? This is a case of people stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. Literally going to worry about the trace amount of poison.
That's why these gym bros like Blaha, they're jealous. You have people like me that come in, I'll come in once a week, right? And then I'll focus on regenerating my body. So I will come in, I'll damage my body, I'll get a relative amount of micro damage to my muscles on the day, and then I'll spend the rest of the week regenerating my body. But the people that come in the gym, they come in 6 days a week, and then they're degenerating their body. They're never regenerating. They go into degenerate. Get it? And then they take a rest day. And then they see me come in. I just work out on the rest day. I work out on their rest day. That's when I work out. And then when they work out, I'm regenerating down at the buffet. Get it, bro?
You can't 100% get away from, and you can't survive without eating the food. You're going to die without it. But then
You're going to die without it. You can't survive without the food. You can survive without poisoning yourself every day eating plants. Yes, you can survive. You will survive. But if you eat those poisonous plants, I guarantee you will not survive very long. Eventually, you'll die.
to then just willingly say, okay, I'm worried about this, but I'll just willingly just drink another poison. I'll just drink it. I don't have to have it.
No intelligent person on this planet, an intelligent person, when they discover the truth, no intelligent person would continue in this behavior, cooking their meat and cooking their food, right? Processing their food and eating poisonous plants and drinking poisonous drinks like alcohol. No normal human being would do that. Only an abnormal, mentally retarded human being would fucking continue in that behavior. Get it?
No requirement for survival, completely optional. I have every opportunity to avoid it and to just consciously consume it. Well, my point is, don't pretend that you care about poison. That would be the point I would make. Like, are we really going to have this conversation? Just stop. You're being silly. Okay? You're more than happy to put poison in your body. Don't pretend like you care. And the thing
See, you're more than willing to put poison in your body. You've been conditioned from a child to put poison in your body, to poison you from a small child. Get it? And so it's hard to break the conditioning. But once you discover the truth, you should stop. Now, it's not your fault if you don't know it. Blaha knows the truth, but he continues in that behavior. So he's only to blame for his indiscretions.
is, and I think for a lot of people, they haven't thought about it that way. They've never said, oh, wait, I'm over here worried about a poison, this poison that I really can't fully escape from, but it's in pretty small amounts. But I'm just willingly just walking over to the store and buying a direct poison that I don't have.
It's just in small amounts. I'm going to the store eating poison. Chocolate is poisonous to humans. Chocolate, seeds, beans, lectins, whatever. These fucking fruits, vegetables, they're poisonous to humans, but they're consuming it all the time. Get it, dude?
To have and just drinking it because I get a buzz because it's a poison to my brain cells, and therefore I get a euphoria from the poisoning of my brain cells.
See, he gets a euphoria from the poisoning in his brain cells. So when Blaha eats these so-called plants that he keeps promoting, the anti-nutrients, when the anti-nutrients, the poisons hit his brain, he gets a euphoria. He enjoys it. It's an addiction to deteriorate himself. You understand me? It's become an addiction to see how long he could survive deteriorating himself. When will he die, today or tomorrow? He's gambling how long he can keep up this deterioration before he dies. Some people will run off numbers and say, "Hey, I look at me. I made it to 75." Yeah, but look at them. They look in the mirror and they are completely deteriorated at 75. They no longer look like they did when they were 30. Get it? You understand me, people? Look at Blaha. He's so deteriorating. He has no hair. Where's his hair? You people can you really sit there and like ponder that, man, for a moment? Me personally, I look young. I'm getting better. That my whole thing is to regenerate. When I was younger, I never truly understood bodybuilding when I was younger. I didn't know it was based on regeneration. I didn't even know I was regenerating myself. Maybe that's why I was so young. I remember I had a girlfriend, this woman I was with at the time. I was 34 years old. She was 34, the same age as me. She asked me for my ID. Can you imagine that? Look, I moved to Mexico. I was living there for a while. And so I was 34 years old. I was dating this woman, and she asked me for my ID because she says, I don't believe that you're 34 years old. Why? Because at the time, in my late 90s to about the early 30s, I started regenerating my body because that's how you build muscles. You regenerate muscles. So it's based on regeneration. So I ate a lot of protein. I was in a positive nitrogen balance. So I was actually regenerating faster than I was deteriorating, which I didn't realize at the time. Never pondered in my mind because I didn't read anything in science at that time. There was no internet. There wasn't a lot of scientific literature out there. You have to go to a library and look for it, but you didn't really know what to look for. And so, like I said, I fluked it. That's all. I went off my senses. These damaging effects that I got in the gym when I worked out once a week, I got this DOMS, and then, I started eating a lot because I thought, okay, I have to eat a lot of protein to build muscle, and I have to consume a lot. That's how fat people get fat. They consume a lot. So fat people eat bad food, poisonous, toxic food to get fat because they're starving. And when they're starving, they get fat. Okay, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to eat a lot of protein. I'm going to eat a lot of animal products. And then I'm going to regenerate my muscles. And so that made me younger. And so when she asked me for my ID, I was like, okay, 34. I did. I looked really young at the time, in my 20s, my early 20s still, even though I was 34. And it lasted for quite a long time. I remember because I posted pictures of what I looked like. People were surprised. Yeah, but then when I got into my 40s, and because I stopped like completely this exercise stuff for years, and even my consumption, when I moved back to my city, I started consuming plants, which I didn't realize were toxic. They were poisonous, and they were degenerating me very quickly, actually. I didn't realize that at the time. And then I just kept doing that. Plus, I was working and doing a bunch of stuff, and it was degenerating me. But now I'm more focused on regeneration than degenerating myself like Blaha. I'm doing the opposite because I'm at that age where I don't want to degenerate. But Blaha wants to seemingly keep degenerating.
Yeah. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on that, too. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Ciao. All right, friends, it's Team Man, and I'm back. I'm back. It's a Mandarin Broski, my favorite place, right there. Man, and I went to go get a shitload of sushi, man, right away. That's the first thing I went to go and get. Yeah, man. So, hey, I wanted to say in this video, well, you know what I always say: if you live in the past, you can't live in the future, bro. But whatever, man. So, I was watching. I just did two videos, like, what was it, Greg Doucette and Jason Blaha video. Yeah. About bodybuilding. He says that you can't build muscle, or what did he say? Oh, yeah. You're never going to build muscle as a natural, so you need to take steroids to build muscle. Well, he's always advocating that you're building muscle. Protein synthesis, right? When you lift weights will protein synthesis. They're going to protein synthesis. Well, guess what? I have news for you people. Weights don't protein synthesis. Protein synthesizes protein. But weights, they don't synthesize protein. Get it, bro? Yeah, weightlifting doesn't synthesize protein. Weightlifting opens a window for protein synthesis. And there's a window now for protein breakdown, so you're breaking down protein. So yeah, but if you don't synthesize any protein, and it doesn't outpace protein breakdown, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to deteriorate. You're going to deteriorate faster than you're regenerating, because bodybuilding is really just regenerating. That's really what it's about, regenerating. Now, how you regenerate using exercise is up to you. In other words, let's say you want to really create a huge amount of regeneration. Okay, so what do you want to be? You want to be in an anabolic growth state. That doesn't mean necessarily you're going to be building muscle. You're just simply outpacing the breakdown. So what happens is this. So let's say you come in often to the gym. You're not eating carbohydrates. We don't want to eat carbs. We don't want to eat plants. That's for sure. Anti-nutrients or anything like that. We want to be in a positive nitrogen balance. We want to outpace the breakdown so we can regenerate. Okay, so what do? Whatever you're doing there, I don't know, 6 days a week, whatever these guys, they bring me my ice and everything. I just love this place, but my hot towel. So you want to outpace that breakdown, dude. So basically, you come into the gym, you work out, you eat protein before you come in the gym, you're positive nitrogen balance. When you open that window, you come back, and the same thing, bro. You open a window for protein synthesis, so now you exceed that by eating here. You come here and then you eat you just keep eating, piling it on. So you can outpace that breakdown, so you can be regenerative, see? So you're not deteriorating faster than you're regenerating. Now you're regenerating faster than you are deteriorating. See the difference? Now you understand how you can manipulate and use bodybuilding to your own advantage. But most people, they don't do that. They don't realize that their little meals and them being eating plants and working out, being in a negative nitrogen balance, is just going to deteriorate them faster than they're regenerating. But hey, man, like I said, each to their own, right, broski? Everybody has to learn on their own. Me personally, I do regenerative bouts of like muscle damage. That's different. So to build muscle, you need to regenerate muscle. Yeah. So you have to break it down, and then you have to rebuild it. That's how it works, and that can only happen periodically. See what I mean? And then again, protein synthesis needs to outpace that breakdown. Now, people that come in often to the gym, they just want to see a regenerative effect, like a quick effect. You keep coming to the gym often, you just do these workouts, you got to outpace that breakdown. And then when you outpace that breakdown, you're regenerating, get it? That's all really. Blah, and all these other people talking about anti-nutrients and stuff, bro, they're just going to deteriorate you faster than you're regenerating. That's a lot of people, that's what's happening to a lot of people in the gym. That's why they say their faces are getting old, they're getting old, blah, 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 blah. Because they're not really doing it properly. They don't understand what bodybuilding or lifting is really all about. It's just really about regenerating. Now, like I said, if you're not outpacing that breakdown and you're just eating your 32 grams of protein or your whatever grams you're eating there, I don't know, 25 grams or 1 gram per body weight, good luck with that, dude. If you're following a schedule, you're going to fail. You're doomed to fail in everything. Now, when it comes to carbohydrates and people coming into the gym, and protein synthesis is not outpacing breakdown, but glycogen is outpacing glycogen breakdown, guess what's happening? Sarcoplasmic muscles, and you're deteriorating faster than you're aging. I'm not joking, bro, get it? So yeah, that's how it really works. And then people that, let's say people come in and they get this damage, and then that too is not outpacing breakdown, they get this damage, they lose muscle too. That's why a lot of people complain, I got a stronger, but I never got a bigger, or I'm getting smaller. They're going to the gym and they're like, I'm getting smaller, bro. Go figure, bro. They're getting smaller because they're not outpacing breakdown. It's kind of simple. They're breaking down more than they're building, and this is how you build. So weights do not synthesize protein. Okay, when he says we're lifting and we're synthesizing, you're not synthesizing anything there. You're opening a window for synthesis, but you're not synthesizing jack shit without this. Get it, bro? Anyways, I'll see you in the next plate. I gotta go, bro. Eat that. It'll make you better, okay? All right, friends, I'm back with the shrimp bros. You know me, man. I was just having a nice conversation because I wanted more shrimp. There was a girl there. She works there. I don't know. She's a Latina girl. I was talking to her in Spanish. Yeah, we were having a nice chat. Anyway, yeah. So I want to say in this part of the video, I want to talk about regeneration. So now that we all know what prevents deterioration, now about this longevity thing, now, I can't prove it because I've never put it to the test, but apparently science says it's possible. So the only reason you're going to the gym is to cause a slight level of damage so that your body can go through a regenerative phase. You can get more cells, you can expand the satellite cell pool, and therefore the telomeres will expand, and you're gonna live longer. You can wear off this so-called shortgevity that you may die early. Could that bypass biological clock? Well, I don't know what a biological clock is. I've only heard about people say that in science, biological clock. Does it really exist? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Science says that you can regenerate more cells. If you can regenerate more cells, then that must mean that you can keep extending your life. How do these marine life, how do they keep living so long? Well, because they're regenerating. They regenerate what? Cells, new cells. How do you get new cells? Muscle injuries will get you new cells in the gym. Boom. And then protein synthesis will get you those. Well, you got to grow these new cells, get the new cells, get the stem cells to split and divide. But now, to wear off this degeneration, you're regenerating at the same time. Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. Yeah, to see that happen. So It's really two parts. It's really two parts. If you were to do both parts, but people are so busy destroying themselves. They want to destroy themselves. They don't want to really regenerate. Maybe they do. Maybe they think it's regenerating, but in fact, you're all just getting old and dying and dropping off. The truth is, you're not really putting in the work that you need to regenerate your body, get it to regenerate, to stop the deterioration, and to get longevity. So when the longevity guy says, these are longevity people like Brian Johnson, I am longevity, Tony, and all that. Thank you. So when they're telling you that, oh man, you got to jump around, you got to preserve these motor units and all that. Well, that preserves motor units. That does everything. Food does everything. But I'm saying, to get more cells to keep regenerating. Remember, these stem cells are quiescent. You got to get them to come out of quiescence so they can split, divide, and increase in number. So if you're getting new cells, because literally you can turn old muscle into new muscle. If you're doing that, old into new, that's a good thing. Get it? Now, wearing off degeneration too, being protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown. See, 2 in 1, bro. Think about it like this. Animals, when you see tigers, when they eat, what do? They eat to satiety. You understand me? They're eating meat, but they're eating to satiety. They basically eat as much meat as they can to the point where they can't eat anymore. That's what I'm doing. Therefore, they are always in a positive nitrogen balance. Now, when it becomes time for them, when they notice it's time for them to eat again, to be in positive nitrogen balance, because it's their instincts tell them that, it's time to hunt, and it's time to eat again, gorge, and be in positive nitrogen balance, so they don't deteriorate. That's why animals, when they die, they look young when they die. But here's the difference. Can they live longer than that point where they actually die looking young? And even cows, you notice cows, they have to eat all day. They eat all day. They graze. These animals graze all day. They grass all day. They're in positive nitrogen balance, right? Anyway, so like I said, so them, do they have the abilities to regenerate? Well, they do. They run and they kind of regenerate whatever, so and so and so and so. But maybe they're just not doing enough of it. You understand me? They're not doing it periodically. Like humans are different. We can't just go a whole week without eating just meat. I mean, we gotta eat. We still gotta eat periodically. Unlike lions, we're smaller creatures. We're smaller creatures than lions or tigers. Okay, they're heavier. They're weighing up to 760 pounds or whatever. Okay, we're not in that league. We're not weighing that much, unless of course you're a really big guy, a fucking giant weighing a lot. But that could be just dead weight you're carrying. Anyways, the point is, your stomach is a lot smaller, and the way you digest food and everything is totally different. But yeah, like I said, so regeneration, basically, it's the same thing. Periodic regenerating, going to a gym, causing some injuries, and then regenerating them, getting these stem cells to increase the stem cell pool. That's all. It's really simple, bro. And you're going to remove senescent cells at the same time. Any senescent cells that may have accumulated, you can get rid of them. That way you keep staying fresh all the time and wearing off myogenic decline. That's the whole point. So, yeah, nobody in science really tells you that. Nobody in these channels or YouTube, they never talk about the use it or lose it, the stem cell pool, the satellite stem cell, use it or lose it, PubMed. That tells you how to regenerate and why you should regenerate your body, new cells, and the stem cell pool, increasing the stem cell pool for further regenerative demands. Then there's deteriorating faster than you're regenerating. Get it? Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. So when you combine these two, they can provide a very powerful tool, man, a magically powerful tool. So a little bit of periodic lifting, getting some regeneration, and that wearing off deterioration. Get it? When protein synthesis exceeds that outpaces that breakdown. See, that's not hard really to put it together when you think about it. It's like when I discovered bodybuilding. When I discovered bodybuilding, what builds muscles? I just kept doing it and it worked all the time. Like it just kept working all the time. When I kept eating as much as I could, I was in a positive nitrogen balance. It outpaced breakdown, the protein, and I went periodically to the gym to damage my muscles, and they just kept growing. It never stopped. They kept growing. Of course, it's going to come to a point where it's going to become very difficult to keep growing, of course, you know. It's not like you're just gonna keep growing and bust and die. But anyways, that's the idea. Get it, bro? All right, I'll see you in the next plate, man. I don't want to. I gotta go. I gotta eat this. All right, friends. I think I had it, man. I just ate too much, and I don't think I can handle eating anymore, bro, today. Cause I ate like straight, like 3 days in a row here. Even last week I ate here up until Friday. I took Saturday and Sunday off, but I ate a lot on Saturday and Sunday. Plus, I've been eating some eggs in the morning and then sometimes in the evening, just to keep up with the cholesterol. But yeah, I'm so full, man. Like I was telling the guy here that works here in the meat counter, I say, you know, exercise. People that exercise, they're just degenerating. It's better to what's the opposite of degenerate? Regenerate. It's better to regenerate than degenerate. And how do you do that? Eating food. Exercise is not going to do that. It's going to give you an old face, and then you're going to shorten your lifespan. So exercise will shorten your lifespan and give you an old face. Now, your natural food like meat, fish, animal products are going to make you better and live longer. You're just going to be so much better. You're going to have a better face, like the looks maxing community. The transformations are what? Meat. Now, in the bodybuilding community, which is corrupt, what is their transformation? Oh, I took steroids and I transformed. And then what happens when they go off the steroids? Oh, I transform back again to the dweeb-looking dweeb that I am. Okay, well, whatever, get it? See what I mean? And all these fake potions, everything are going to build muscles. That doesn't regenerate muscles. Again, like, if you read PubMed, satellite cell, use it or lose it, they tell you what regenerates muscles, bro. Get it? They tell you periodic lifting, muscle injuries, that's what regenerates muscle. And what will build it? Well, that mess, protein synthesis, must outpace protein breakdown. That's what happens. If it doesn't, you're not going to see jack shit. So those two things regenerate. The injuries with a combination of protein outpaces breakdown. At least you won't see your face droopy and aging. Now, when I said that people coming in often to the gym trying to regenerate, that's a very short cycle. They do very light or regular exercises. They do some exercises, right? Very short, in a short window. And then the rest is just eating outpaces breakdown protein so that you just keep regenerating. That's all. You're really just circulating. You're not really damaging. You're just kind of circulating some satellite cell because of hypoxia or something. So yeah, there is some regenerative stuff there going on. That's the people that coming in often to the gym. But I'm talking about protein synthesis. In other words, they're always saying that they're opening a window for protein synthesis, but they're not synthesizing protein because protein can only synthesize protein. Get it? It has to outpace breakdown in order for it to synthesize. Otherwise, you're not synthesized. You're breaking down now. You get the idea. I think at this point people understand what I'm trying to, the point I'm making. But whatever. Maybe they just don't. I don't know. Each to their own. I use my experience, my intuition, my what do you call it? My everything, bro. I use my brain to think what I'm supposed to do, okay? A lot of people, they don't. They rely and think about the same thing that they're doing in their life over and over again, something unnatural, whatever. And then they'll scream and yell about it, thinking that whatever they're doing is right. And actually, the truth is, whatever they're doing is just wrong, bro. Get it? They're really probably just frustrated. When the frustration comes out, they're frustrated with themselves because they really don't know what they're doing. They think they know what they're doing, but when the truth hits them, that's when people get frustrated because the frustration comes out because they think what they're doing is correct. But when the truth comes out, they know what they're doing is wrong, but they get frustrated because what they're doing is wrong. That's all. And they get angry about it, frustrated, that somebody would come out and question what they're doing is wrong and prove that it's wrong. And then they just get nuts about it. It's just like that in society. What can you do, man? You can't help it. People are just fucking like that everywhere. Anyways, do what's best for you. Me, I do what's best for me, and I suggest you all do what's best for you. So I'll see you in the next video, my friends. All right? Bigger, better, stronger, and faster. See you in the next one. Eat that. It's going to make you better than the last time.
Minutes in. Let's try to get this run going though. So hopefully the run goes okay. My foot hurts, but it's not on the pad where I land. It's in the arch. So again, we'll see how the running goes. No idea if it's going to go okay or not. I guess I'll find out. But we're going to give it a try. We're going to give it a go. And we'll see how it goes. But so far I just saw a like, so at least I know we're live. How you doing, Michael? I'm doing good. We're just getting this morning run in. It's no longer warm. It's actually nice and cool. So that's nice for a change. It was kind of hot yesterday. Yeah. Oh. All right. Yeah. These runs have been kind of hit or miss lately. I think for a while people were really liking them. So I'm going to rotate them back and forth between YouTube and Facebook, the runs, and just kind of see where they get the most traction. Good to see how you're, I just been doing a 5K. So I just do a 5K 3 days a week right now on my non-lifting days. Which I'll take. I mean, I'm over 200 pounds and 48 years old. So, don't run super far. I do a lot of lifts on my bike though. But you know, for cardio, I try to do my sled sprinting a little bit after lifting. We jog like this, we run 3 days a week. And then I do my really slow, easy stuff on the bike inside. So, you know, but I mean, even yesterday, you know, I mean, doing real work on the lifting. I mean, my top set of bench was, you know, 315 for reps. Top set of deadlift was 500 for reps yesterday. You know, and we get on run today. So we just stay fit, man. For me, that's what it's about. We get strong, we get conditioned, and, you know, eat healthy. That's my current philosophy. You know, I don't eat any junk food. I don't drink alcohol. So we eat clean. You know, eat my chicken, rice, vegetables. And we do cardio and lift weights, man. Sorry, I gotta clear the sinuses out. This run will do that. But I'm not trying to time these 5Ks so much. I'm recording them on the app to put it up for the people who follow it. But I'm just trying to stay focused for at least for a month or two right now, just the consistency. I'm not trying to PR the 5Ks. I did a couple weeks ago, I got one, but now I'm just taking leisurely runs. It's just getting the miles in. And then we'll make the push coming up here towards the end of the year. Assuming I can sustain this in the cold without my sinuses being a big issue, you know. But I took up running so fast again that even if I chilled a little in the winter, it took me like a month of running to hit decent 5K times after 20 years off. So I'm just doing other cardio, and I can pick it up real fast. Like I know my body adapts quick.
Here's the context of this call. About 2 weeks ago, me and another troll prank called Jason, pretending to be his neighbors. We told him that Alex Rosen and his cameraman knocked on our door, warned us about Jason being a threat to the community, and then handed us a flyer with more information on Jason's pedophilia and stolen valor. We both managed to get him on the phone for over 20 minutes, and his narcissism and loneliness becomes more and more apparent the longer each call goes on. Both of us played the concerned neighbor and pretended to be friendly with Jason. The point of these calls wasn't to roast Jason, but rather to freak him out. He left both of these calls wholeheartedly believing that Alex actually swept his neighborhood, warning everyone of the dangers of living with the blowage. The following is only my call with Jason.
Hello.
Hi, is this Jason?
This is. Could you let me know who you are in the neighborhood? Because I don't know that this isn't those crazy stalkers pretending to be one of my neighbors. They pull stuff like this with me routinely. I've been dealing with the guy, if you're not him or one of them, the guy who came to your door, his name is Alex Rosen. I've been pressing charges against him for 7 years.
Okay, I understand. I just wanted to get some things cleared
Sure.
up. This won't be a long call, trust me.
Sure.
It freaked out
Be the
it freaked
first
out
one
my
I've had.
elderly mother,
Yeah,
you know?
it wouldn't be the first one I've had today or this week or this year. So I get kind of, how do I put it, emotionally exhausted about it at this point.
Okay.
So just an FYI, I tend to just be like, I'm sorry, nothing I can do about it. Sorry. I have to do this with my friends, my family, my brother, my sister, my cousins on
Gotcha.
a regular basis for a decade. So in case you were not aware, I am technically a fitness content creator for 13 years online. I have a silver play YouTube award, so on and so forth.
Like an
I'm a
influencer?
tiered partner. Yeah, I hate that term. It's so pretentious.
Okay.
No, I don't drink
Okay.
Pellegrino or anything like that. The term is pretentious. So I prefer content creator and virtual coach because I do strength and conditioning coaching online. So no, I mean, if you go look, I mean, I have 120,000 followers on YouTube, 90 million views, 250,000 followers on Facebook. I mean, this is what I do. I have 7 Texas state records in powerlifting. So pretty much what I do, I have a group that, long story short, I have a group of obsessed stalkers that got latched onto me during a lawsuit 12 years ago. I was targeted by the largest cyber stalking ring in the world. They're called Kiwi Farms.
Okay.
I was involved in a big lawsuit, and the company involved hired a group of trolls and stalkers to start a hate campaign against me, dox my family, and then it got picked up later by Kiwi Farms, and there's some stragglers. The Alex Rosin guy runs an organ. The guy who came to your door, his name is Alex Rosin. The Hispanic guy's name is Jesus. That's his cameraman. He stalked me originally 7 years ago. Realized as a result of all of that in person, I had to press charges back then through HPD. He then later realized he really enjoys stalking people, and he found a socially acceptable way to do so by targeting pedophiles. So he started an organization called Predator Poachers that take hundreds of thousands of donations. So that's what he does. He's been arrested a few times for it again last month. But he still sticks to his original targets, too, and harasses us, once a year or so.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I'm willing to believe you. I can
times.
believe you.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go look, you can go look at the blue check marks. You can see who I am. You can hop to Facebook. You can hop to YouTube. I have all the blue checks. It's clearly me. You probably see me running outside in my shorts. So I'm the 220-pound power lifter who runs down the street in shorts, barefoot.
Okay.
It has a big garage open where you see me deadlifting 600 pounds and stuff. That's me. That's that dude. It's pretty much what I do.
Okay. I mean, I'm willing to believe you because, I mean, these guys were just weirdos. Okay, like they look weird. They're fat. No offense to them, but they're fat and out of shape.
They're disgustingly fat.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty much a 220-pound guy with abs. So I just kind of go, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So the thing with it is, you're not the first person who's called the police about them today. So if you would be so kind as to simply call the police and tell them that Alex Rosin, they know who he is because he's got arrested for other things. He does legitimately go harass pedophiles, but he crosses the line with it legally. Mm-hmm. So he's found an outlet for it, and while I can appreciate that fact, the fact that he stalked me, I think he's a piece of shit.
Okay.
Because I don't think he does it because he really cares about kids. I think he does it because he enjoys stalking people. And who can he get away with stalking that everyone's going to turn a blind eye? Mm-hmm. What is it that we all hate?
Yeah, that makes sense. He's using a group of people that, everyone hates, and he's using that as an enabler. Okay.
Yeah, they're just going to be like, yeah, let him do it. He's crossed the line and been arrested several times over it, though. Mm-hmm. So he kind of makes a big show about it. But I've met him in person at one time when all this started early on. So he got really weird. He talked me into an interview and then showed up outside my condo. And I agreed to it. He's trying to have a small YouTube channel he's trying to start, and said he lived nearby. So I agreed to it, and then he got really weird on me, and then he started stalking me. And I had to press trespassing charges back then.
Okay.
Because I was living, and yeah, so he scaled a fence with a no trespassing sign and I lived in Upper Kirby area. I'm over by Rice Village and all that. So I was in a condo with a gated community and no trespassing signs, and he scaled the fence and put flyers like that up all over the condos, filmed himself doing it inside the no trespassing thing and uploaded it to the internet. So I pressed harassment and criminal trespass charges.
Okay.
So he kind of hates me for that. He was trying to become a police officer. He was like 18 or 19 at the time. He was trying to get a criminal justice degree at the time. And I think that kind of ruined his chances of being a police officer, which was, his thing. Which, that's not the person you want having a badge and a gun. So...
If I could just cut you off for a second, just to say something. He was, like, physically speaking, just creepy and weird and, like, just weird, right? So I didn't really... However, I will say that he was extremely, articulate and, like, very manipulative, I could tell. Like, very, like, he can spin things, I could tell. He can talk.
Right. Again, I'm familiar with it. I've seen his work, and I've met him personally. I did an hour-long interview with him where he got creepy. So, yeah, in short, what he's doing is illegal, but it's not been illegal enough for me to get him arrested. And I have to deal with a whole set of blowback. And a bunch of other neighbors got texts by one of the guys who the FBI has talked to one time. But they said he's not a threat and he doesn't have the financial means to reach me.
Okay.
Because he's on SSI for schizophrenia and lives in California. So that, if you got a bunch of those text messages, that was that guy.
Okay, I did not receive any of those. I did not receive those text messages.
A bunch of the neighbors did it. Unfortunately, I got numerous phone calls about it.
Okay. Well, you seem to have a lot of detail on him.
I apologize so much.
It's okay. No, I understand. I just wanted to, what do you call it? Because my mom is elderly. She was really freaked out. They try to intimidate her. Yeah. So.
Right. Which again, how do I put it politely? He's a piece of shit. So that's exactly what he did. Going to intimidate an elderly person because he's like 6'4" and 300 and something pounds. So
I'm going to be contacting the police about him. Trust me, I'm going to call them as soon as this is over. I will say, just for your knowledge, I'll be contacting the police about them. And they were handing out papers on you, just so you know.
I'm very, very aware. That's his MO. He makes new ones all the time. I'm used to it. Just for the record, I'm not a minor attractive person or any of that. In fact, I'm going to end up suing him eventually over this, so I don't want him to know that. Mainly because that level of slander, when part of my reputation that I've worked on, I've dealt with a lot of BS.
Mm-hmm.
But like one of the things that I do with my outreach is I am a survivor of pedophilia. I press charges as an adult, and I've used weightlifting as part of my therapy to build the strength to testify.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is something that I promote. So then for, people to then target with something like that and accuse me of that is offensive and angering, to put it mildly.
Okay. I'm sorry that any of that had to happen to you, by the way.
But thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a while. I'm 48 now. People don't realize that when they see me. I'm almost 50 years old. Like, this guy is that old? It's like, yeah. But, but that's a part of what I do with my outreach. And so... but he tries to spin it that way so he can justify the resources for his organization. He's tried to trap me in it a couple times. I've caught him trying to do it. And I usually just block. Like, I know it's him doing it. We'll pretend to be an underage person and message me to my business page. And I just block it because I know that's him. So, and obviously I block them. I don't want anything to do with their nonsense.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw the paper in the garbage. That just seems like so... Like he's just grasping at straws, it seems.
Yeah. So he's been doing it a while, but again, the more police reports, the better. When this happened before, even they had said, yeah, we know this because he's a problem. Police don't like him because he messes up their investigation. So what he does is entrapment anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does when he's trying to catch people with his predators poachers, he poses as an underage boy. And he uses pictures of his little brother originally. I don't know if that's what he's still doing. He was doing that at one time. And then tries to trick them into meeting him, like wherever, and then showing up. And then he shows up instead of this underage kid. And then he's got him on camera and, embarrasses them and comes in their house or eats them at a McDonald's and eats their food in front of them and intimidates them.
Did you say his name was Alex? Alex what?
Alex Rosen.
Okay, I'm just going to write this down so I know who to tell the police he is,
Right. So he is Alex Rosen. He is the owner of an organization, Predator Poachers Texas.
Okay.
So that's his business. I can't remember the last name of Jesus. So the Hispanic guy who would have been with him, his name is Jesus, and I don't have his last name handy.
That's okay.
Somewhere in some notes.
He didn't do any talking anyway. He was just standing there like an idiot. So.
Yeah. So he's usually his cameraman, so I'm surprised they didn't have any cameras out. They may have. You just didn't see it.
Are you saying that he was probably filming me?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
If he was, if he had a little camera down at his side or whatever, probably illegal.
Yeah, people shouldn't be soliciting in this neighborhood. This is just bullshit.
Right. And then on top of that, to do that, and I've filed a report over this previously here. I had more numerous ones back in Houston. But yeah, he pulled this last year, flyed everybody's yards, so they didn't actually go door to door. He won't come to my house with it because the police know, and I've told them, because I did the whole thing trying to follow a restraining order. I informed his father. I'm like, and I told them flat out, I said, he is a danger to me. I will use deadly force if he comes near me. There's not going to be talk to him. He's over 300 pounds. He's displayed that he is a threat to me repeatedly. And they've told him I will do that. So the police have told him. So he won't probably come to my door.
Yeah, he does not care about personal space. He tried to take it. I don't want to say he tried to put a foot into the house, but like on that ledge where
Right.
Yeah, he did not care about personal space. That guy he has no business being here. So, I mean, I was yelling at him on the way out, but I just had to call to make sure. So I'm very sorry to bother you. Thank you for explaining this to me.
No, you're welcome. And I have to learn to just summarize it into quick at this point. It's obviously extremely expensive. I've been swatted in the past and all sorts of nonsense. I've had to have the FBI involved with some of this. But Alex is kind of a spin-off from it because he jumped in, I guess, when Kiwi Farms picked it up.
Okay.
So and I'm not really a major target for them. But just so that you're then aware, Kiril Farms' MO is to isolate their targets for anyone who's on their kill count. They're trying to get them to commit suicide. So essentially, when they target you, their goal is to socially isolate you, turn your neighbors on you, your friends, your family that you fired from jobs, so that you are isolated and they can wear you down so that you commit suicide. Okay.
I understand.
So that's pretty much their modus operandi. I'm obviously not going to do that. I'm a pretty strong person. But again, you met Alex and Jesus, and you got a feel for them. They're pretty weird people.
You could definitely say that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fact that they're doing this alone, how do I put it? A well mentally adjusted person is not going to do something like that, going door to door. And again, I would point out that if I was a threat and was unstable and going to kill neighbors, it would have happened many, many, many years ago. Because it's not like they haven't been doing this for years and years and warning people on doing this nonsense. So,
have they ever personally threatened you with physical violence or anything like that?
Alex personally, or have I been threatened with death threats? Probably 10,000 times. Not necessarily directly from Alex.
Okay.
No, I get death threats on a daily basis. Anonymous ones. I mean, for a decade.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm used to it. Notice I say it without, it's just like, it's just another death threat. You know, like, that's the 7th one this morning. It's just not a big deal at this point to me. I don't take it seriously. The first couple hundred I did, but after that, it's like, oh, another one. So it's kind of numb to that stuff at this point. But I mean, that's pretty much my normal, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And until laws change and technology change, I'm just going to have to deal with it, file police reports, and get other people to do it. And eventually laws will catch up. Resources will catch up. And it's like I've been told by the FBI. One of my coaching clients was an FBI agent. And he had told me last year with some of it. Mm-hmm. He's like, unfortunately, the resources are too thin. Like cyber crimes division and stuff with all this, they simply don't have the manpower to deal with all the cyber stalking because they're so tied up chasing down